What's going on, everybody? This is Lady Luck here again. Yes, I have another video. Oh, the Prince of Pancrust Pizza. You weird Teletubby. You guys, I don't know if, you know, if he's just trolling us at this point or what the hell he doing. But I have a question. There is a case that, of course, he was sued. And there was a judgment entered against him for $3,000. I'm wondering if he ever paid that. Umar Johnson, you are just the gift that keeps on giving. This is why people talk about you, because you don't pay your bills. All right. So we're going to go over that case docket because this is something I enjoy doing. I enjoy reading, legal documents and lawsuits and complaints and all those things. And you guys make sure you check out the video I did on the writ of monition that he was served, that the school was served rather, that he's definitely going to lose if he does not pay that money in 20 days. And I believe that's probably why he is either trying to raise money like hell or thinking about just going to another state again to start this gimmick all over again about opening a school that he's not going to open. You would think he would just be smart enough to say, you know what, screw the school. I'm just going to go on tour, let people pay me to run my mouth. I'm just going to book dates and I'm just going to go, Alabama, I see you. New Jersey, I see you. Tennessee, I see you. California, I see you. Like, just go see people. So take your ass on tour and let people pay you to do what you do best. Run your mouth. And let that be it. Just do speaking arrangements, engagements, and go talk. I mean, aside from him having a weird itch and having a pork belly, it looks like he could be entertaining for an hour or so. I wouldn't take most of the stuff that comes out of his mouth seriously. But if you just want to go in and have a good drinking and just get a good laugh in, yeah, Umar Johnson would be the clown to laugh at for an hour. That's it. And let people pay you to let you sit there, run your mouth, and be entertained. Because at this point, that's all you can do, Umar. You're just entertaining people. That's why he hates us YouTubers. It's like we give a damn. We're going to keep doing this until you stop collecting money for bullshit. You're not going to open that school up. You want to be con artists. So, since you're somehow making that a life goal to sit here and just swindle people and talk about opening up a school that after 15 years you're not going to open, you're now in state number 2. And that has failed. And it's going to continue to fail because you have no intention on doing that. And I don't understand how, he talks about, improving and enhancing the black race. And all he does is take money from black people that are working hard and struggling and go after single mothers or mothers with sons. Never mind his 2 children he's ignoring. And for what? To still turn around and sit and degrade us and abuse us, and insult us because we're reporting on your clown ass for doing what you've been doing. And that's scamming, lying, taking money with no evidence or results to show for it. Now you owe taxes. Oh, man. Hopefully the cult of the Prince of Pancrust Pizza will just kind of come out of it and they'll start reading and understanding that there's information beyond what he's saying. I would not believe anything he says unless he shows proof and documentation. That's it. If it doesn't come with something in black and white that is tangible evidence, I would not take anything he says seriously. At the very least, demand that of him if you're going to sit and worship the ground he walks on. All right. So make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the Lady Luck Club. We are growing here, and I am very excited about that. The Umar Johnson content here in the LLC is, gaining so much momentum, and I just want to thank you all for the support. It is very humbling for me to know that there are people out there that are enjoying the content And I'm going to continue to push out this information. So please make sure you consider becoming a member as well. Check out the Dr. Squatch products in the description of the video. We do have a partnership with them. And yes, I do receive a commission on every sale if you purchase the products that is tagged in the video. So make sure you check out Dr. Squatch products, soaps and deodorants and other toiletries that your young men could utilize and have them smell good and feel clean as a, use Dr. Squatch soap. All right. Somebody send Umar's ass a bar of soap. He needs like two, one for the top part of his body and another bar for the second half. But yeah, let's get down to business. Oh man, the Oompa Loompa that won't stop begging. Umar, you're the worst. So here is this case here. And I just, found it to be intriguing. Shout out to Foxy Roxy for being a fantastic mod here in the LLC and a supporter for sending me this information. So this is for case ID number C as in Charles, P as in Peter, U as in umbrella, 4-21-000915, Donald Murray versus Umar Johnson, the Oompa Loompa from outer space. Tuesday, April 6, 2021. This is the filing date. The type of cases was for a breach of contract, and the status was a judgment. So this is the judgment rendered. Newcastle County. They had pretrial conferences, motions filed. Judge Mayer was assigned to this case. There's a breach of contract. Let's see here. We click here. What happens? Nothing. Why do they have these little hyperlinks here if they don't go anywhere? Yeah, that's very irritating. Look at that. Nothing. So where are we supposed to get this information from, Your Honor? Please have this file uploaded. I want to see the actual court document. This is the docket report results we're looking at on courtconnect.courts.delaware.gov. So there was a breach of contract filed back on April 6th of 2021. A summons issued to Knucklehead on April 22nd, 21 by Newcastle County Sheriff. Of course, service returned. Yeah, because he probably doesn't check the P.O. box, and he, for some reason wants to talk about empowerment, but yet has no respect for the rule of law. You Prince of Pancrust Pizza, you're not above the rule of law. You're not above reproach. You can be sued. But he always talks about having attorneys. Where are these attorneys at for that frozen bank account that you lied about? Because we all know you lied. Where are those attorneys you said you were going to get? What are their names? You know that's not secret information, right? You put stuff out there into the atmosphere. You got to back it up. So if you got attorneys, you're going to have to disclose who those attorneys are, especially when you're asking people to help pay for them. Like, this is the stuff that people should be asking. Like, okay, what's the name of these attorneys? We want to be able to call them and ask questions if need be. And they can give us, information that's general public information or whatever they can provide for us. Because if you're going to ask your cult members to help keep giving you money to fund your lifestyle, at the very least, tell them the name of your damn counsel. But of course, he doesn't get attorneys because they cost money. They cost money. So there's a lot of service returned. He filed an answer. I guess he did finally get served. Answer was filed October 15, 21. So they had pretrial conferences that were scheduled. Let's see here. I'm just trying to motion hearing. You guys can see some of the entries. Email communication between defendant. Defendant request that mailing address be updated. So this is the P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware. That's for the school, for the FDMG school. But why would you want, the address to be changed to the school, knowing they can't serve you at a P.O. box. They can't serve you at a P.O. box. So, rule to show cause issued. It was ordered. Look at this. 600 East 17th Street. That's the address, physical address, location to the school. He did a written response. Notice returned, because of course it would be. And then they had a Zoom hearing. So all this for breach of contract. If this is how he conducts himself when it comes to handling business, when he's being sued for a breach of contract, can you imagine how this is going to go with him so-called getting attorneys for frozen bank accounts? And yes, I'm using air quotes like hell. Because we all know that your accounts was frozen for a reason. Probably doesn't have any money. He just spent the money. You went to Africa and you didn't figure out yellow watermelon. I mean, what a clown he is. Such a clown. So I'm just gonna scroll down here to where they actually start having hearings and stuff. So an order was entered on June 24 of 22. All right. I'm gonna read this information. Whereas a notice was sent to the parties on December 7, 21, notifying plaintiff and defendant to appear for a hearing to take place by Zoom on January 14, 22 at the courthouse. Whereas notice specifically stated that the parties were prohibited from using any recording devices. Whereas it has been brought to the court's attention that a party may have recorded the court proceeding and posted it on the internet, which is strictly prohibited by law. Whereas a hearing is to be scheduled for July 22, 22 at 8:30 a.m. in person at the courthouse, and it is hereby ordered plaintiff shall appear in person at that date and time set forth above and shall show cause as to why plaintiff should not be held in contempt of court for violating court policy by recording a court proceeding and posting it to the public domain. The plaintiff did this? What were you thinking? Y'all, you have to have permission from the chief judge if you want to record civil procedures. Now, certain civil procedures, you can't record at all. It just depends on the privacy and the type of case you're dealing with. Federal cases typically are not recorded at all, period. Like the P. Diddy trial. I mean, you had sketch artists and people coming outside and having to discuss what happened, stuff like that. But you didn't have cameras in the courtroom. But I mean, well, why would you do this knowing that it's illegal? If you're gonna have I don't know if the plaintiff had an attorney or what, but if you're gonna go at this pro se, learn court rules. That way you don't do something and mess up. Donald Murray. Yeah, he was pro se because he didn't have an attorney. You don't record the court hearing, so it looks like he was held in contempt and had a hearing on the contempt. Oh God, why he should not be held? So you get, even if you're held in contempt of court, you're entitled to due process by having a hearing as to why you should not be held in contempt for violating the court policy by recording a court proceeding. He posted it up to the public domain. If found in contempt, sanctions will include forfeiture of all recordings and the possibility of monetary penalties, dismissal of the lawsuit, and any other sanction if the court finds just and appropriate under the circumstances. It is so ordered. June 23rd, 22. Judge Catherine Mayer was not for play. So they had the hearing that was scheduled on July 6th be rescheduled to July 22. Rule to show cause hearing. Then the civil motion hearing. Of course, that contempt of court. That just avoid that. It's not worth it. You can get the court transcript and read the court transcript in a video and put that on the public domain, but recording the hearing, no. Let's do that the right way. All right. So they were both pro se. And then an order was entered again July 25th, 22. It is believed the plaintiff recorded the court proceeding held on January 14th, posted it on the internet. It is strictly prohibited by law, whereas a rule to show cause hearing was held July 22nd, whereas notice was sent to plaintiff on June 24, notifying him that he must appear in person at the courthouse, whereas plaintiff failed to appear. Plaintiff failed to appear on July 22nd, 22. It is hereby ordered that plaintiff is held in contempt. Plaintiff must remove all recordings of the hearing within 30 days of the order, or his case will be dismissed. That judge took it easy on you, bro. She could have sanctioned you. To the court from plaintiff Donald Murray. And then he got his information, and I'm scrolling down past that. They had a trial hearing held on November 30th, 22. Continuance was granted. Lots of things happened. Assistant to Umar Johnson. What? Who's his assistant? You can afford an assistant. You Prince of Pan Crust Pizza. The case stayed this 10th day of January 2023. Court having received defendant's request for dismissal and supporting documents submitted to the court via email on January 10, 23, attached here to as Exhibit A. Yet, no, nothing's attached. And it appearing to the court, the service of the same was not made upon plaintiff as required under a CCP Civil R5A. It's like the civil procedure rules. Yeah, there are court rules that you have to abide by for civil and criminal proceedings. You got to serve the person. Yeah, people want to sit here and claim to know the law and want to represent themselves, but then they don't read the court rules. Because those will get you in trouble. You can sit here and Google the law all day, but if you don't read court rules on how certain documents should be filed, service process, those types of things, that'll get you hemmed up. Not recording the hearing and posting it to the public domain. I mean, that stuff will get you in trouble. Okay. So we're gonna go down. Y'all, this is something else. Prince of Pan Crust Pizza. You just don't disappoint, do you? Okay, so order was entered on May 22nd, 23. Court having received and considered defendant Umar Johnson's request for a continuance on June 1, 23 trial date. It is hereby ordered defendant's request for a continuance is denied. Get an attorney. Parties shall appear in person for trial at the Newcastle County Courthouse, June 1, 23 at 8:30 a.m. Failure to appear for trial may result in the entry of judgment or dismissal. So let's say Donald Murray shows up, Prince of Pan Crust Pizza, the Oompa Loompa does not. Then judgment would be automatically entered on behalf of the plaintiff. If the plaintiff doesn't show up, defendant does, it results in an automatic dismissal. Either way. Continuance was requested, denied, event held, motion granted, notice was sent to the parties May 1, 23 that a trial was scheduled for June 1, 23 at 8:30 a.m. at the Newcastle County Courthouse. Defendant was provided with written notice to appear for trial on May 22nd, 23. Defendant requested a continuance. The court denied it same day. Defendant failed to appear for trial on June 1. This is why you don't take him seriously. You want a continuance, but you fail to appear. You could not sit and say, okay, let me take this court case seriously here. Got a trial hearing. Can't get around it. No more continuances being granted. Go to court. Nope. Y'all can imagine how things go when you take him to court. This is what you should expect. He's not going to show up. Oh, man. Plaintiff subsequently moved for a default judgment. And now this first day of June 1, 23, the court having heard and considered plaintiff's motion for default judgment, it is hereby ordered that default judgment is granted in favor of plaintiff against Umar Johnson for the reasons stated on the record at the hearing held. Oh, man. So default judgment was entered. They had a damage hearing. What the hell? Then they had a event held, decision reversed August 3rd, 23. Motion granted judgment September 11, 23. Proceedings, proposed findings. I'm sorry. Motion granted judgment. Proposed findings of fact and recommendations for order awarding damages. Conclusion for the above reasons. Judgment is entered against Umar Johnson in the amount of $3,000. Did he pay this money plus post-judgment interest at the legal rate? It is so ordered. 11th day, September 23. Oh, man. $3,000. Did he pay the money? You Teletubby, you owe some money. You owe $3,000. See, if he's not paying $156 on a water bill, a $200 fee for, this writ of monition, he's certainly not paying $3,000. And of course, the letter was received. Proposed findings of fact and recommendations for order awarding damages back to the court. Return to sender the court address. So he owes $3,000 to the court. What are you doing? This is something else. This is a man who thinks that he is above the law. He's above the rule of law. He doesn't have to pay money. He doesn't have to pay the $3,000 of damages to the courts. He doesn't have to pay taxes. He doesn't have to pay water and sewage bills. He doesn't pay his own private personal bills, seem like. He can't keep his two bank accounts straight. You can't make this up. All right, y'all. That's all I got. Oh, man. $3,000 he probably still owes to the court. I just, I don't see how that wasn't garnished out of his YouTube check. Oh, he should not be having a good time with money right now. He should not be able to afford to go to Africa. What is he doing with the money coming in from his, book deals and merchandise and, the speaking engagements? What is he doing with, that money that's coming in for that? All these contributions he's getting, the cash outs, the PayPals. I mean, can the court not enter a judgment and have this stuff taken out of his PayPal account? Like, seriously. Does he even file taxes? This is insanity. This man has not, I don't think he's filed like private, personal, individual taxes. I mean, individual taxes. Because that YouTube money is income. We all have to include that in our taxes. I know I don't get anywhere near what he could generate with 222,000 supporters. But no, you got to include that on your taxes. You got to pay the taxes on that. So obviously he's not filing individual tax returns. This is insane. The IRS should be all over his fat ass. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm moving it along. Y'all have another video I'm gonna do about his dissertation. That's something else. But until then, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and check out the Dr. Squatch products tagged in the video. And I appreciate all of you so much. You could be watching anyone else, but you're watching me here in the Lady Luck Club. We're going to have fun with the Prince of Pan Crust Pizza, this Teletubby from outer space, this Oompa Loompa that seems to be just absolutely deranged and needs 2 showers. But until then, Lady Luck Club out.